Good evening, viewers, and thank you for joining us tonight on Hotspot. We have a great lineup for you. We have a bit on soccer, the Women's Youth National Championships that was held over in Madang, as well as the rollout of the Just Play program in Port Moresby. We have a bit of AFL. We had two Gold Coast stars visit the country, as well as we feature Port Moresby Rugby League's oldest club, Paga Panthers. And as always, we'll wrap up the show with our weekend draws. But first of all, big congratulations to the Black Orchids for taking out the Black Orchid Sevens that was held over last weekend in Buka. It's been a while since they've won a title against the Kimber Rebels, so congratulations, boys. We'll now take a look at all the highlights.
The celebrations began on Friday afternoon with all teams on board MV Blue for a tour on Buka Passage. At dusk, people boarded motorized dinghies to travel home across the passage to the mainland. Buka town lit up, and it was a sight to behold. It's day one on Saturday of the Black Orchids tournament. People started gathering as early as 8 a.m. To us it felt like 11 a.m. as the sun rises in Buka around 5 a.m. We met founding president of Bougainville Rugby in 2004 and initiator of the Black Orchids tournament, Peter Chiamalili Jr., and he was just as excited as everyone there to get the games underway. 16 teams, pulled in 4 groups, participated. Pool A comprised reigning cup holders Pasik MMI Kimber Rebels and local teams Halia Ruko, Petets, Hillerson and Feed Trocas. Pool B had Black Orchids and fellow constituent teams Hago Maris, Yatsila and Old Town 2. Pool C included Geruhu, SLS Cowboys, Hangen Pirates, Yeta Old Town and Halia constituency Stingrays, while Pool D had Port Moresby-based Motlock Islanders, Haka Tautai, Wounded Orchids, made up of past players including Rebels mentor Freddie Mattis, Peter Chiamalili Jr. and former Puk Willie Rickes, Malaseng Traders and Hago Babs. Before the final pool games of day one were played, the PNG Under-16 Girls Champions put on an exhibition match which ended in a 5-hole draw. An added attraction to the delight of the big crowd was the appearance of 2015 Pacific Games mascot Tura da Kokomo. Day 2 on Sunday started with the bowl quarterfinals. Yatsila Wounded Orchids, Hago Babs and Feed, who did not show up, lost and went into the Shield semi-finals, while Hillerson, Hangen Pirates, Stingrays and Old Town qualified for the bowl semi-final. In the Cup quarterfinals, Rebels, Cowboys, Malasang Traders and Black Orchids advanced to the Cup semi-finals with wins over Hago Marist, Hakatautai, Yeta Old Town and Halia Ruko, respectively, who went into the plate semi-finals. In the Shield semi-finals, Yetsia knocked out the wounded Orchids. Hago Bubs went into the finals without a sweat when Fitz did not show up again. The Bowl semi-finals saw Hillesen and Stingrays advance to the final with wins over Pirates and Old Town respectively. The plate qualifiers saw Hakatautai and Yeta Old Town and Hago Maris and Ruko's hopes for a spot in the final. The match of the day saw Rebels completely outplay Cowboys in the Cup semi-finals, while Black Orchids edged out Hillesen at the end for a spot in the Cup final. The arrival of AROB President Dr. John Momis and welcomed by Bougainville Regional Member of Parliament and Bougainville Rugby patron Joe Lera and Buka Enterprises owner William Nakin brought a thunderous cheer from the thousands that packed Hujena Oval. First, Hago Bubs beat Yatsila for the Shield, Stingrays edged out Hillesen for the Bowl, and Hakatautai beat Old Town to claim the plate. Then the moment everyone was waiting for. Kimber Rebels and Black Orchids lined up and were introduced to Dr. John Momis. After 20 minutes of classy and exciting rugby sevens, the hometown won the Black Orchid Cup for the first time since its inception in 2007. Rugby on Bougainville has certainly played its part, bringing changes to people's mindsets, characters and upbringing over the past 10 years through its rugby programs, including the Pacific in Union concept. A big thanks to the staff at Reasons and Uni Center for their hospitality. Very nice place and very, very friendly people.
And we wish the Black Orchids and all the Sevens teams the best in their preparations for the next Sevens Invitational. We'll head out for our first break for tonight. Up next, we'll have a lot on soccer.
Push, push.
Joined us, you're watching Hotspot, and straight into soccer. The Women's Youth Soccer Championships that ended successfully in Madang, with Madang's under-18 women's team taking out the title. The tournament was proudly sponsored by New Guinea Table Birds and aims to promote future sports ambassadors in the code of soccer. We now join Fabian Hakelitz for the highlights.
Leeuwarden Oval became colourful again as beautiful Madang province kicked off this week with the New Guinea Table Birds under 15 and 18 Women's Soccer Championship. The championship ended on a high note yesterday, but unfortunately most centres didn't compete but looked well with the Madang vs Leigh Challenge. Under 15 registered teams were only Madang and Ramu, resulting on a friendly match, while in the under 18 Madang Evan, Madang Ramu Sugar, Leigh Football Association, Lahi and Watut. Tournament Director Sigi Bashel says the championship is a new identification tool for the Papua New Guinea Football Association to select young talented role players.
And then they'll represent, the players that are selected will represent Papua New Guinea in the Oceania Football Confederation tournament.
This possibility, those failing to compete in this championship will miss out on the selection. Madang Governor Jim Kass made time available to share the soccer spirit, announcing that the provincial government is eyeing soccer as one of its code that will be developed. Team Ramu of Madang was proud to compete in the championship.
Thank you, Lord.
Please, let's not stop here. Let's support New Guinea Table Birds in a big way so that later on New Guinea Table Birds can continue and probably increase their sponsorship for our youth tournaments. They've been here with us for probably 3 years now. This is the third year. So please,
the Madang Under-18 team were crowned as champs after recording 4 wins.
Milato thank you lo tubla tripla coach tripla manager team manager bimla Mrs. Romo tubla kosa bimla kosa Martina kosa Ali na bimla thank you lo table bets lo sponsor bimla enjoy.
Still on soccer, we now take a look at PNG Football Association's the rollout of Just Play program at Tarama Primary School.
Thank you. Just Play is a sports for development program and it's funded by OSAID. Just Play, basically, it's not about football. A lot of people think that Just Play is about football, but it's not. It basically uses football as a tool to bring young kids together and give them the key messages. And Just Play's aim is to bring sports for development into our countries, especially the Pacific countries. And the 4 main objectives of Just Play is to promote gender equality, social inclusion, that's including disability inclusion, child protection. Those are the objectives of Just Play, and it's to do with social development. And for Just Play is to promote healthy living, healthy eating and all that stuff. So whilst doing football with the kids, we also give them the key messages. We teach them the social issues that's affecting young children, and so that they can make good choices in the future. Yeah. We have 2 development offices in Port Moresby, and we have coordinators in all the other regions. We have 1 in the Highlands, 1 in the New Guinea Islands, 1 in Momase, and 1 in the southern region. We need volunteers, especially teachers and people living in the communities, settlements. You don't have to be a footballer to do Just Play. You can be anyone, because Just Play promotes social issues and not just football. You don't have to know how to kick a ball to do Just Play. Just Play is also part of our development program. Now, Just Play deals with grassroots, with kids from 6 to 12 years old. And that's basically Just Play. They don't do a lot of skills training in football. But when you see a kid that knows how to play football, you pick them up and put them in the development program. So from Just Play, they go into the development center programs and the Center of Excellence. And then you have the academy program and elite and seniors. So Just Play is a pathway to football.
Anything else you'd like to add on?
Yeah, I'd like to ask people who are doing nothing, if you have a lot of time not doing too much, you can come and help with Just Play. It's good for our community, schools, and kids, especially kids, to teach them at a young age. It's better than letting them grow old, and when you try to teach them, it's hard. So it's better to help them out when they're young.
And I hope you're having 2 fruits and 3 veggies in your diet. Start now. Don't start tomorrow or later. Start now. You'll never know, you might be the next Cristiano Ronaldo, found right here in the country. Don't touch that dial. We'll have more on Hotspot after the break. Welcome back, you're watching Hotspot. Now we feature one of Port Moresby Rugby League's oldest clubs, the Paga Panthers. Now they've been without a coach for the last 2 years, but have been very fortunate to have one of their pioneers, Sarah Kiers, keep their spirits alive throughout the season.
A group of young women who show great interest in rugby league have been playing in the suburban competitions, calling themselves Eastern Warriors. But in 2010, they teamed up with Paga Panthers to play in the Under-19s division of the Port Moresby Rugby League competition.
It all started in 2010 when we had a group of girls that formed a rugby league team called Eastern Warriors. It basically was made up of, why we call it Eastern Warriors was because it was made up of mainly Chimbu and Eastern Highlands players. So yeah, we started off with that club in 2010, which we won. We won the competition that was at that stage. And then in 2011, we wanted to take part in the Port Moresby Rugby League tournament or competition. So in order to do that, we had to affiliate into an already existing club. So we thought, we asked the Paga Panthers club, Richard Wagambi and his boys, to join the club to form a female, the women's club in there. So they said yes.
Katie Niep is the women's team captain. With her dedication and support, the women's team made it to top 8 in the 2014 season.
From the start, we lost a lot of good players, but we've brought up some new young girls into the team, and yeah, we prepared them well, trained them well, and regardless of we losing our coach, unfortunately he got suspended for this year and last year, but without him being on the sideline, I think we'll give our best for the coach, for the team, and for ourselves.
Next year will be the 5th year for Paga Panthers women's team. It's not only the Paga Panthers women that Katie trained among, but the men's team as well.
Yeah, unfortunately we lost 2-0, but I reckon my boys put on a good show. The game, it was a structured game that was played by them. So yeah, they did well, defense and attack. We missed out on scoring 3 tries, which the ref called it a forward pass. But I think overall my boys did really pretty much better, with their structure that they showed in the field.
Despite not having a coach, both Katie and Sarah wants to see bigger and better opportunities ahead for the Paga Panthers. Both the male and female are looking forward to a great season next year and hopefully scout a new coach for the team with the support from team members, team captain and their supporters.
And the Paga Panthers are hoping for a bigger and better season in 2015. Now we move over to AFL, and we had not one but 2 Gold Coast Sun stars in the country. We had Gary Ablett Jr. as well as Zach Smith, I'm guessing, yes, Zach Smith in the country on their off-season break for a visit, and some very fortunate kids caught up with them.
Regarded as the greatest AFL player of all time, Gary Ablett Jr. and Zach Smith, both from the Gold Coast Suns team, visited Papua New Guinea and appearing at a charity golf day and dinner in support of the Gateway Children's Fund PNG. The pair took time off to visit Moitaka in Port Moresby. For Gary, this was his second visit to Port Moresby. For Zach, it was his first. Gary is the captain for Gold Coast Suns, who was drafted in the age of 17 and originally played for Geelong Cats before moving to Gold Coast Suns.
You know, I used to look up to AFL footballers. You know, it was my dream. You know, my whole childhood to hopefully one day, you know, play at the top level. And I can remember as a young kid, you know, AFL players turning up to my school, and you know, it was some of the best times of my life. And you know, I'm in a position now where I can kind of give back, and I can get back out, you know, into the community and give back, and you know, hopefully, you know, put a smile on some of the kids' faces. And you know, the AFL is very big on that. You know, we do a lot of work in the community because we know how important it is. And you know, at the end of the day, you know, football is just a game. There's a lot more important things, and we know that. So we really do enjoy that side of it.
Gary was contracted with Gold Coast Suns on a 5-year plan and has 1 year remaining on his contract.
So I've been very lucky to, you know, to play as long as I have. Hopefully I've got a few more years left in me. But I think over the next couple of years, you know, I'll figure out exactly what I want to do. I was lucky enough to sit up in the coach's box with the coach last year and experience what that was like. And, you know, I enjoyed parts of it. So yeah, it's... We'll see what happens.
He plans to stay on with the Gold Coast Suns before he decides on what to do in the future. He says after his football career, he would like to become a coach one day for a team at national and international level. Zach also made his first debut into AFL at the age of 16 for a local team in Rockhampton before he was taken on board by Gold Coast Suns. He said AFL is his life and career and is looking forward to a bigger and better season next year. Zach is also planning on going back to study one day, but at the meantime, his mind is set on AFL and is enjoying his footy. The two men are looking forward to returning again next year and hopefully come back with more AFL players to teach, have fun with the kids and play a game of footy. The sole purpose of their visit to Papua New Guinea was to help raise funds for the Gateway Children's Fund for the less fortunate children of Papua New Guinea.
Yes, and Gary and Zach are planning to come back with some of their mates for another visit next year. We'll head out for our final break for tonight. Stay with us as we wrap up the show with our weekend draws. Time has caught up with us, but before we go, if you'd like us to feature your sports story or have us train with you on our special segment Get Involved, please shoot us an email at sports@emtv.com.pg. Most of you are on Facebook, so please check us out. And if you're in Port Moresby, drop by to 2nd floor Garden City and ask for a very awesome sports team, and we'll be more than happy to assist you. Now let's take a look at our weekend draw. This weekend in Port Moresby on Friday, Unagi Oval will host the Eastern Highlands Cup and the Barocco off-season competition on Sunday. In-game fishing, the 2014 Yellowfin competition will be staged from Saturday the 22nd to Sunday the 23rd of November right here in Port Moresby. Registration is still open from junior to adult anglers. A Suzuki Jimny is up for grabs in the first category. And Lay City will come alive to host the 6th BSP PNG Games. 20 provinces will compete in 28 sports at various sports venues. Fly your flags up high and support your province. And yes, the whole sports team will be in Lay for the 6th BSP PNG Games. There's like 2 more sleeps to go. Make sure to tune in on Monday nights sports scene to catch all your sporting action, especially the opening ceremony. We'll all be there, so if you're in Leif and you see us around, say hi. Until next week, play hard, play safe, and we'll catch you right here on Hotspot.